honestly, I'm gonna be completely real. Devilman Crybaby confused the heck out of me, like proper confused me. So I'm familiar with Devilman. I know that it was a manga, and then there's been some various incarnations of it, animated incarnations. So I'm familiar with the 1987, I believe it was, version, because I saw that like when I was a kid, and it kind of blew my mind kind of as to how kind of gritty it was and how violent it was. And seeing a cartoon, well, what I thought was just like a cartoon like that was like nuts to me. It was crazy. And when I got older, when I was in university, a friend of mine had bought the manga as well. So I gave the manga a read, and yeah, it was all right. It was just kind of the beginning of the story when they go to the party and that, and he becomes Amon. And yeah, that was about it. So going into Devilman Crybaby, I'd seen the trailer ages ago, but then I'd forgotten that I'd seen the trailer. And then like I'd see people mention it, and I'd be like, oh yeah, that trailer for that Netflix anime of Devilman. And yeah, I decided to watch it. And yeah, I got some stuff to say about it, man. So firstly, let's talk about the style of the animation. I felt like I was watching Summer Wars at the beginning. It felt like really clean. Like if you just showed a picture of that show to someone, you'd just be like, ah, it's like just a nice drama anime about some teenagers and their friendship and all that. That's what it looks like on the surface. But obviously it's much more grotesque than that, especially with all the demons and the killing and the sex and the murder and all that. And I think that's supposed to, maybe it's supposed to like kind of juxtaposition it, but I kind of feel like it takes away from any kind of violence that it had. It didn't have an impact on me. The things that were supposed to be grotesque didn't particularly feel that grotesque to me, and I think that's one of its few negatives. I think the episodes, there's like a total amount of 10. I prefer if there are a few more that could kind of really delve into things. But in terms of positives, man, I thought like I feel like it was like a weird allegory for like teenagers becoming adults, because they go through changes that they don't quite expect, and they go through these changes by having like their innocence taken away. So Akira has his innocence taken away at the party, and Miko, she literally has her innocence taken away from her by someone else in such a horrible way that when she is possessed and does become a devil or a devil woman or a devil man, it's like this big change happens to the individual, not only in terms of body but also in terms of personality. And it's kind of like, it's kind of weird, because is it saying that being an adult is, or the adult world is horrible, so therefore you have to kind of be a monster within it in order to survive? I don't know, but at some points even, it did appear that way to me. I pretty much liked the characters in it. I thought they were fine. The actual animation itself, although I'm not the biggest fan of the style, or I feel it conflicted with it, it was very smooth, very well done, very good. I like the character design. Although I will say in the 1987 version, there's just something about the old animation techniques whereby it's got this grit. There's a grittiness to it because it's not digital. It's just, you know, the cell animation, and it's just filmed on standard definition kind of cameras from back in the day and all that. So when there's horror elements there, they actually kind of feel creepy and they actually work. And I got thinking about Akira, like the actual film Akira, and even the digital remastered version of that from like 2001, even though it's digitally remastered, it still has that level of grit. It still has that weight to it. Like, things that are dirty look dirty. Everything in Devilman Crybaby just looked clean. And again, maybe that's because they had to make it more accessible for a world audience, because it was shown on Netflix and people from all around the world kind of had to take it in. So if they went with kind of a super horror style, maybe it wouldn't have worked so much, and maybe it would have been less accessible. But yeah, that's something that I noticed that was just kind of a bit eh. But yeah, if you love violence and weirdness, this is the show for you. Like, personally, my opinion of the show is that it was actually pretty good, especially when we got to the end. But it, okay, so another thought I've just had. So Miki, brilliant character because she's all about innocence. She still has the innocence that both Akira and Miko both lost entirely. She still has that innocence, and this is what I'm saying. It's about like adolescence, man. That's what it feels like to me, because there's always that one person who's still kind of like not immature, but they've got the purest of heart and all that. Maybe hasn't developed as quickly as everyone else, and that's what it kind of feels like to me in a way, because she still had like childlike tendencies up until like, you know, the end of the show. So that's another thing that kind of stuck out. Just in general, you know, there's a lot of violence. This is another thought I just had. I just realized. So for some reason, anytime I watch Japanese horror, obviously there's tentacles, that's a given, but also there's this thing where they combine sex with the horror, with the violence. I don't know whether it's a cultural thing or not, or whatever. Yeah, I have no idea, but I'm assuming it's because obviously sex is something people enjoy and like when it's reciprocal, and to have it be weird and things and demons and all that with the act of sex, I think that's supposed to be horrific. And I just find it weird, because like when I watched Legend of the Overfiend, I was like, this is weird, what's with all the sex? Legend of the Demon Womb, same thing, I was like, this is weird, what's with all the sex? And then it just goes on from there, really, the list of weird anime stuff with horror and sex combined. It's just like, what? And it's just odd. It's just an odd thing. The music. That's something I totally forgot to mention. The music, right? Okay, so I've listened to like some Japanese like music before, and like, Teriyaki Boys, Rip Slime, stuff like that, and everything from Samurai Champloo as well. Like, I do quite like Japanese hip hop, and yeah, the stuff with this, like the freestyles with like the beatboxing, dope. Loved it. Like, I love that kind of stuff, man. Like a beatbox and someone spitting some lyrics, even if it's in a foreign language, I can appreciate. I thought that stuff was dope. I need to listen to that stuff again because it was really cool. It was just such a good, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just good hearing like a different sound, hearing like a flow, a rap flow in a different language it's just wicked. It's just wicked to listen to. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, there are a few story elements which are a bit like, seem to come out of nowhere and are like, haha, you didn't know this. We didn't really give hints to it, but this is a thing. Those are a few kind of like elements like that, especially towards the end of the show. I felt the climax, things escalated, right? And they were escalating at a steady pace. And then they just shot straight up. And I was just like, okay, like you've skipped a whole lot. And you know, towards the end of the story, I'm trying not to spoil it for people. And towards the end of the story, it's like, you can tell they skipped quite a bit of time. And this is why I wish there was a few more episodes, because you could, you know, develop things more. Because there's things that happen at the end where I think they had enough weight at the time, but I think they could have some more weight if there's more episodes and there's more explanation. But yeah, do I recommend this show to people? Yes, I do. Do watch it, it is interesting. It will make you think of things. It will actually get you emotional in some places as well. There's like one really emotional bit that had me I was quite like, oh, that's really flipping sad, man. Like, that's really sad. Like, an anime can do that for some reason, that they're able to just like take things and make it sad somehow when you didn't expect it to be sad. And you're watching a horror show with all this weirdness in it, and then all of a sudden they kind of hit you something that makes you go, oh, well that sucks. Like that, I feel kind of bad. I'm not gonna cry because I'm a man. but that is sad though. You know what I mean? That's the kind of show that it is. But yeah, definitely check out Devilman Crybaby, which I almost forgot the name of, but I just remembered it just in time. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. It's a good enough show. It's I enjoyed it more than I did the Castlevania or however the hell you want to say that. I enjoyed it more than that. Do I think it's the best anime I've ever seen? No. But do I think it's definitely worth the watch? Yes. Will you get something out of it? If you're a horror anime fan, I think so, but not as much as the really weird raw stuff and some of the older stuff. If you're new to anime, will you like it? No. If you're brand new to anime and you didn't even know that they did like horror animes, I don't think you'll like it at all. But take a chance on it if you want. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.
姿形振る舞いまで何も俺は知らねえそりゃ当然悪いさなんせ悪魔だしな見た目もきっとおぞましいなんせ悪魔だしな盗む犯す奪う殺すきっと全部あり誰も知らねえとこで汚ね手口使いメイクマネー